Welcome to the sizzling world of love, lust, and laughs, and more importantly, desire. This is Desire Dialogues. Get ready to dive into an electrifying podcast hosted by yours truly. Have you ever wondered why your love life feels like a lukewarm cup of coffee? Ugh. Fret not. I'm here to sprinkle on some easy, practical advice and solutions to spruce things up. So we'll be diving into the pool of common struggles. Join me while we flip through the pages of love, turn up the heat on passion, and discover the secret sauce to fulfilling a spicy love and sex life. As a professional seller of sex toys since 2013, I ended up seeing that there was a gap when it comes to fulfilled relationships that you can't just really throw sex toys at to repair and enhance, right? I help individuals and couples authentically express themselves for a more harmonious relationship and sex life, whether alone or with a partner or partners, without fear of judgment and shame and old beliefs. So I have a signature program called Relationship Reignition and a kick-ass 30-day program, nice fun couples challenge to help reignite the flames. Each day you'd get a sensual and or sexual activity for each day to go ahead and act upon. So I'm glad you're here. Hit that play button and enjoy. Well, hello there, fellow sexual beings. Today, Valentine's Day. So for some couples, the anticipation is there to really make it extraordinary. And then others is just, Valentine's Day is just another day. And a lot of couples actually dislike the holiday. But you know what? It's not really all that important how you feel about the day itself. What can be important for you and your partner is that you're able to communicate your feelings around this holiday, which usually is really jam-packed with buying things for each other, going out of your way, and very commercialized with Valentine's Day and the industries and marketing and all of these things. So the real key is to really make each other feel loved and respected no matter what day of the year it is. Your partnership can be a celebration of love all year round. You don't really have to wait till a holiday to show your significant other just how much you care. You and your partner deserve to, feel that at all times. So let's talk about a few ways to do that. So celebrating your love for your partner doesn't have to be this big event with flowers and roses and fancy dinners, a night on the town, big gifts, unless you want it to be. There's really a lot of little things you can do to really just show them how important they are, how much you value the love that you actually share. So yeah, grand gestures are neat, but small things can be a whole lot neater. How about this? First, what about just spending meaningful time together? You can revisit your date. I'm sure you've heard about that. Like, let's revisit our first date, right? And reminisce about our past. But another thing you could do to go a step further into that is to sit with each other when you're reminiscing or before you go out to, recreate your first date, whether that's like at a restaurant. I want you to think of, as you're reminiscing, bringing your awareness to your body. And when you're thinking about maybe that first time that you met them, the first time you saw their face, where was that in your body? Did you feel that? Do you have any tightness? Do you have any butterflies? Are you smiling? Are you crying? And you can really tune in to this feeling, even without even saying anything and just holding your partner's hand. Your energy physiologically does change. The energy shifts around you when you're in different states that you put your body into through visualization and reminiscing. So there's one idea, right? And then you can even take it to the bedroom. And before you go into the bedroom to add just a little bit of extra spice back into the bedroom routine, you can now communicate and reminisce about past experiences that you love. Maybe a highlight reel of your top 2, just to keep it simple to start, right? Top 2 things that you loved. Share, for example, you can share what was happening for you that made it special, something that they may have done, something that they said that made you feel a certain way. Just sharing these things can give your partner or partners aha moments, like, oh, okay, maybe they never even knew that. And then they can recreate that in the future as well. A second thing you could do is go on adventures. I love adventure dates. These are those experience types of things, right? When you're doing together. I love ones that are mutually beneficial. You're not just doing an activity for the other person or just for yourself, but, something you mutually decide on, like, that sounds fun. Do a staycation in your hometown, or get some, daycare for your kids and do a staycation at your house. Go somewhere fun and, like, shake up that ordinary routine. You could go on a hike depending on the weather. Something else you could do, cook a new meal together. You could possibly read the same book and then discuss it. Or, on the spicier side, you can read some erotica to each other. And this can be a fun way to tune into, oh, that's something that you fantasize about as well, or I never knew that. Oh, wow, that chapter really got you going. Your cheeks are flushed. These are all new ways that we can learn more about each other. Share hobbies and activities. New things come from conversations, right? If we don't have conversations, it's, I never knew you were interested in that. Another thing that doesn't cost a thing is little acts of service and kindness to really just show how much you care, right? Really tuning into the love languages without any expectation of return. So, Love Languages by Gary Chapman. The main 5 love languages are quality time. This is when all the phones are down, direct focused attention on your partner or on their story. Things like that. Another one is acts of service. This is, you could cook them dinner. You could go take their car to be washed. You could do the grocery shopping because they have a really busy day. You could do words of affirmations. This is when people love to hear, really like positive, meaningful things about how you feel about them. You could write a love letter, right? Another act of service, to go back to that one, you could bring them breakfast in bed, right? And you can pick up their favorite treat when you're out doing that shopping. You also have physical touch. So maybe a really long 6-minute hug, all right? You could put a timer on and you just snuggle. You can do skin to skin, right? You just have that contact without the expectation of sex, but just the expectation that you want to be with them in that moment. And then we also have the last one. Sorry, excuse me. The last one would be, hold on, I'm drawing a blank. We have physical touch, we have quality time, words of affirmation, acts of service, goodness, let me see. What is that other one? It'll come back to me in a moment. That's just how that's going to go. So really, when you're in that quality time, showing up emotionally to like be that active listener is a really nice quality time piece to give to that person who has that love language. This could be a great time to kind of celebrate what's important to each other. Maybe you could reflect back on the past year, the past month. You could also, ask them about their hopes and their dreams as well. So you are able to create whatever Valentine's Day you want. And it doesn't have to cost a thing. And then, on the other hand, another way to think about this is, what if you celebrated a day of love every single month? Right? What if you have a monthly check-in? I have an incredible relationship check-in guide where you can just check in with your partner. You're creating that space where you're both getting on the same page, where things aren't swept under the rugs, and you're able to kind of plan for your month ahead as well. Everyone gets on the same page of what they may be missing or what they would like more, or the things that they even appreciated in the past month. I absolutely love that. That will be linked in the show notes. I highly recommend that check-in guide. It's just an easy way to go through the things that are meaningful to check in, to feel like you're on the same page with your partner, to really strengthen that connection. Okay, I got it. The 5th love language is receiving gifts. So, if your partner has a love language of receiving gifts on this Valentine's Day, it could be the cliche flowers. It could be a love letter. The gift doesn't have to have extraordinary value either. But that's the thing. Spending time with your partner and just celebrating the everyday as well as the big events, you'll really be able to kind of show your partner that they matter on more than just Valentine's Day. Another thing is too, real quick, really important, okay? Anal is not the day. Anal does not need to really dictate this day. If you are thinking, all right, I want to give the gift of my booty hole to my partner on Valentine's Day, okay? Anal is not something to do just to do as a gift. Anal is really something that needs to be talked through with 3 important things to go with it. Communication is everything. Lubrication is extremely important. And dilation and relaxation is the 3rd component. There are so many fun, amazing things. Anal can be a whole completely different episode that I can talk about. So much anatomy, biology, what's happening in the body when you're anally stimulated. Absolutely can get to that in a different episode. But those are just the top 3 things. And I really just wanted to point that out. Because as I was sitting here doing this, I'm getting messages on my phone about, hey, I want to have anal with my partner tonight for Valentine's Day. And I'm like, oh, that reminds me. So I'm really glad that I was able to throw that in there for you, slip that in, and really just remind you that Valentine's Day is whatever you want to make it. It doesn't need to be anything extraordinary or unextraordinary. I want you to think about what you desire to feel on Valentine's Day. And think out of the box on how to ask for that. Ask your partner what they really want for Valentine's Day. And then think outside the box on a way to give them that. Whether it's today or next month. So many different things. Valentine's Day for me is I wake up, tell my partner that I love them. I'm like, happy Valentine's Day. And I hope you feel as loved today as I make you feel as loved every day. And really, you could also, too, do a gratitude list. Getting your mind and your body into a heart space. Doing not mindset work, but heart set work. You can make a gratitude list. 5 things that you really appreciate about them. And you can do the 5 things game. So you can turn to them and say, hey, I want to try this game, this activity that I heard about. I'm going to give you 5 compliments. And I want you to just breathe those in with me as I say them and just really feel them in your body. I'm a very somatic person, meaning I like to experience things and notice what's happening in my body. So you can do this either way, with just words or really going a little bit deeper and into the body with how the sensations feel when you hear compliments. So after you say your piece or vice versa, then you switch and go to the other person. And hey, a lot of the times it can be difficult to be put right on the spot. So maybe giving each other a kiss and then going to separate for like a half hour to write your little list, however long it may take you. It's going to be different for each person. I'm really just giving those. You can go ahead and run a bubble bath together. You can take a long walk. Reminiscing as well is another beautiful thing, as well as plan for the next month ahead. Or you can plan for the next time you want to do any of these activities again that you may have liked. Also, there are so many fun things that can definitely help spice things up for you. So let's talk about, some things for couples. So like if you're in a relationship and you're thinking, okay, well, what are some new things we could try? You could have something that includes a blindfold, a little feather tickler, and 2 silky, soft restraints to either put on the hands, to either put on the ankles, to tie together. Something a little different and out of the box, especially if you're new to restraint play. A lot of the items I'm going to talk about are very beginner-esque, because those are the items that I sell to people who are beginning, curious, and really just, looking to explore and see what may tickle their fancy, especially if they haven't experimented too much before. So Fantasy Essentials Kit is fantastic, and I sell that. I will link that in the show notes. You can find anything you need at athenasbylauren.com for your romantic rendezvous. You can even think of penis rings. We have plenty of penis rings, which actually will help penis owner last longer before ejaculation and enhance the feeling of fullness, the full feeling of an erection. All of these, the only ones I like to sell, are the ones with vibration attached to it as well. So basically, it's like a vibrating accessory for a cock. It's very neat. The whole entire penis vibrates, or the whole entire dildo will vibrate. So anything you put this on will actually vibrate throughout the entire piece that it's on. And then it will vibrate on the external pieces of anybody that they're coming in contact with. So, va-va-voom. Very fun. Plenty of massage oils, soy candles. If anybody has that, fantasy of like pouring hot wax on your lover, please don't do that unless you take a class from me about wax play. Otherwise, they can lead, to some burns. And whether you like that or not, that would be up to you. But definitely maybe start out with a soy candle. Soy is going to burn at the same temperature as a body. So it's just going to be warm. So my soy candles that I have are 6-hour burn time. All right. They come in various fragrances, which are lovely. And then you can blow out the flame and pour that right onto the body. This nice warm, you could do a very sensual back and forth drip down the back or the buttocks. And go ahead and rub that in because it is a massage oil. Leave it on the skin. No one's greasy because it's also a moisturizer. So those are just a few ideas, loads of products for you to enhance your sexual experiences, your sensations, and of course your pleasure as well as connection. And also, when these things get mailed to you, discreet packaging, of course, you may just have your desire go, oh my goodness, it's back a little bit. All these little things can really help boost and build upon the desire that may already be there or the desire that may be lacking or missing a little bit. New things, novelty, help bring back desire. It helps bring and build on the desire that's already there as well. My intention for this episode was just to give you a few ideas, different things to do for Valentine's Day, but more importantly, what do you desire that you usually get on just this one day of the year? What do you desire? What feelings do you desire to feel from this day? The positive ones. And then how can you make that more frequent throughout the year? So maybe celebrating once a month on your anniversary day, your wedding day, the day you met. So example, if it's the 14th, March 14th, you could do something similar. Do a monthly date night of love, just in celebration of your love, your Valentine, right? Your Valentine for the whole year, the whole time you're with them, or for life, if you're married. And then if, on the other side of the coin, if Valentine's Day isn't your thing, just go to McDonald's. Have a good time. Fill your day with the things that make you feel love for you. And celebrate your partner any other day that you want to. If this episode may have helped you, just think a little bit outside the box. Or feel a little less pressure to make this day so extraordinary with all these built up expectations from media, from this, society, for all the norms and what it's supposed to look like. The only thing it's supposed to look and feel like is what you want, not anybody else. Until next time, my friends. Thanks so much again for listening. I would love it if you follow and subscribe to this podcast. It actually helps the podcast programs and platforms be able to recognize the sexuality type of podcasts. They're not necessarily easily searchable, so it would really help other listeners like you be able to get some really fun stuff in between their ears. So feel free to share it with a friend if you think they'd be into this too and learning more about their body, desire, and things to enhance their relationships with themselves or others. Also, all of my information to connect on all the socials, to order yourself some sex toys, are all in the link in the podcast description. Thanks so much, guys. Don't forget, pleasure is your birthright, and you don't have to ask permission.